Hi class, today we are on Saxon Math Book for Lesson 69 and we are going to talk about millimeters. So your ruler typically has an inch side and a centimeter side, and I'm going to try to get really close to the camera here so that you can see mine really well. See the centimeters? So in between the start point right here and the number 1, notice all those teeny tiny little lines in there. There are exactly 10 spaces between 0 and 1, and each one of those spaces represents a millimeter. So a millimeter is about the thickness of a dime. Here's my dime. I'm not talking about the diameter of the dime. I'm talking about the thickness of a dime. So if you have a dime at home and you want to take a look at it, see exactly how thin it is, that is approximately a millimeter. There are 10 millimeters in every centimeter. Remember that, because you're going to have to use that knowledge to solve some problems today and throughout the rest of the year. So, centimeter and millimeter both come from Latin words. So the word centum in Latin means 100. So centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. It takes 100 centimeters to equal the 1 meter stick that we have in the classroom. Milla is the Latin word for 1,000, and it takes 1,000 millimeters to equal a meter. So I kind of blew up a ruler for you here so that you could see the centimeters across the bottom and the millimeters across the top. We're going to use this as we do some examples today. So for starters, let me draw a line, and I want you to tell me how many millimeters this line is. See if you can figure it out from the screen. So it starts at the 0 over here. It goes to 2 little tiny notches past this big one right there. So that big one is 3 centimeters, which makes it how many millimeters? There's 10 in each centimeter, so 10, 20, 30, and then it goes 2 millimeters past that, so this line is 32 millimeters. Okay. You might see something. They like to draw paper clips. So I'll do my best here. So they'll draw a paper clip in the book and then have you hold your ruler up to the paper clip and decide how many millimeters that is. So take a look at this one and see if you can decide how many millimeters that paper clip is. So the edge of it is right there, right where my thumb is touching, and if I go down to my ruler, that looks to be right on the 2 centimeter mark, which makes it 20 millimeters. Remember, there are 10 millimeters in every centimeter. Okay, so one thing that they have you do in 4th grade is they might have you write it both ways. So I'm going to draw another line segment here. We're going to decide how many millimeters it is first. So take a look at that one. So we have 10 millimeters at this first long line, 20 millimeters, and then you can count by ones, or that kind of bold one in the middle there, that's supposed to be 5. So we're at 20, 25, and it looks like it goes 2 past, I'm trying to put my thumb right on it there, 2 past that. So 25, 26, 27 millimeters. I'm going to write that down because I want you to see how this next part works with the numbers. All right, so we have 27 millimeters, but we're also supposed to say how many centimeters that is. Well, it's 2 whole centimeters, right? We have 2 whole centimeters, but then it's this fraction of a centimeter. How many millimeters equal a centimeter? 10. And we went 7 millimeters past the 2 centimeter mark. So that's 7/10. And look how we write that. We could write it as a fraction, but particularly when we're talking about millimeters and centimeters, I like writing it as a decimal because look how these numbers are related. We've got 27 and then we have 2 and 7/10. Both of them take the exact same digits, except when we're converting millimeters to centimeters, let me put my units on there. When we're converting millimeters to centimeters, we just have to take this invisible decimal point right here, because it's a whole number, so if we were going to put tenths afterwards, we would put a decimal point right there, right? So we take that invisible decimal point and we move it over 1 place, and that gives us our conversion from millimeters to centimeters. So 27 millimeters is the same thing as 2 7/10 of a centimeter. All right, the last type of problem that you will see is they may give you a segment that's broken up, or not broken up, but has points on it, like A, B, and C here. And they're going to tell you, I didn't change A and B. So A to B is 2 7/10 of a centimeter. From B to C, we were at 7/10, so let's just count millimeters. I'm just going to point to them and try not to erase the marker. Let me use this hand. So we were right here at 7/10, so we've got 7 to 8 is 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 millimeters, all the way up here to the edge of C. 9 millimeters. Remember what we do to turn that into centimeters? We just move the decimal point over 1 place. So we're going to have 9/10 of a centimeter. And so now the question is, how long is it from A to C? Well, 2 7/10 plus 9/10. We can just add if we don't want to read the ruler here. So 7 and 9 is 16. Make sure to drop my decimal point there. 2 and 1 is 3. So we have 3 6/10 of a centimeter. We can look here and measure it. Oh yeah, that's at 3 6/10. That's the easy way. They changed this problem up a little bit to make it more difficult. So I'm going to have to draw another line segment for you. The hard way. So that'll be C, that'll be A. Let's put B right here. The hard way is they give you A and B. So this is 2 4/10. From A to B is 2 4/10 of a centimeter. It's 24 millimeters. And then they give you the whole thing. The whole thing, AC, is 4 5/10. of a centimeter. And they want you to figure out BC. So we know that this plus this equals this. This segment plus this segment equals the whole segment. So how can we use fact families to write an equation to figure out BC? Basically, we have 2 4/10 plus, I'm just going to call this B, equals 4 5/10. Remember this type of problem? This is an addition problem, so where's our bigger number? In an addition problem, the answer is our biggest number. So do I want to add these together? That's going to give me a bigger number here. We don't want that. We want a smaller number. So to figure out this, we need to subtract. So we'll take 4 5/10 minus 2 4/10. 5 minus 4 is 1. Drop my decimal point. 4 minus 2 is 2. And we get 2 1/10 of a centimeter. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at the lesson practice together. I think most of them we can do together. So, the thickness of a dime is about 1 millimeter. Estimate the number of dimes it would take to form a stack that is 1 centimeter high. So if this is 1 millimeter, how many of these do I need to stack to get a centimeter? Did you say 10? 10 would be correct because it takes 10 millimeters to equal 1 centimeter. B says write the length of this segment twice, once in millimeters and once in centimeters. So this is in your book. This one we're not going to go over together. It's on page 443. If you are in my class, make sure you do that one before we get together because we'll talk about it when I see you in class today. C, each side of this square is 1 centimeter long. So here's my square. Each side is 1 centimeter. What is the perimeter of the square in millimeters? So they want us to make that conversion. 1 centimeter is equal to how many millimeters? 10 millimeters. So if this is 10 millimeters, this is 10 millimeters, 10 millimeters, 10 millimeters, what's the perimeter of the square? It would be 40 millimeters. Okay, the diameter of a penny is about 19 millimeters. How many centimeters is that? So the diameter of a penny is about 19 millimeters. Remember how we convert millimeters into centimeters? Try this one on your own. My digits stay the same, and I just have to put a decimal point in there. And there we've done our conversion. So 19 millimeters is the same as 1 9/10 centimeters. The next one says, the next one's another picture in your book. So problems B and problem D, do those in your book on page 443. We are going to go over those in class later today. F, the very last one, says write 3 4/10 centimeters as a fraction. It's helpful if you read this correctly. I've heard a lot of you say things like 3.4. 3.4, that's what it looks like, yeah. But that's not how we read this. We read it as 3 4/10. So now we have to write it as a fraction. If you read it correctly, you're already saying it as a fraction because tenths can be written like this, but they can also be written like this. We have 4/10. There we go. 3 and 4/10 would look like that. 3 and 4/10. I forgot my label, centimeters. Okay, so don't forget to try B and E on your own using the pictures in the book. If you are not in my class, have a homeschool parent check those for you. If you are in my class, we're going to go over them when I see you later today. And then you can begin your written practice, which is also on page 443 of your book. Hope you had a great day, and I will see you again soon.